Welcome back to Mental Wellness Evolution. I'm Jeff, and thanks for being here. Today, we're doing another talk in my series about tools that I think everyone should add to their toolkit. And today, we're talking about a good morning routine, okay? A good morning routine is so vital because it sets us up for success in our day. Okay, it really truly sets the table. And when we get in the habit of getting up in the morning and going through a routine and executing these things on a day-to-day basis, it's going to really start to translate in your day-to-day life. Okay, the reason for this is most important, I think, is because we always view the world through the lens of our current emotional state. So if we're already angry and frustrated in the morning and we haven't taken time to regulate ourselves, we haven't taken time to kind of get over some of those things, we're going to take that out into the world. And then when we have that going on inside of us, you're already angry and you're already frustrated, and you get into traffic and you get more angry and you get more frustrated, and then you go to work and your coworker does something that pisses you off, and now you're even more frustrated. And a lot of those things probably could have been avoided by just taking some time to regulate first thing in the morning. Get over what's going on inside of us. Get out ahead of it. I think Joe Dispenza says, if I can get over myself first thing in the morning, the rest of the day is easy. And this is all like not necessarily always true, because life has curveballs and those things that are always going to come at us. But when we've taken time, we give ourselves the best chance that we have at dealing with them in a good and healthy way. Because if we haven't done that, it's so easy for things to just continue that flow. And you're already looking for things when you're pissed off in your life. It becomes very easy to find them. So I think that's probably one of the most vital reasons I think a morning routine is like something that everybody should add. Another reason for this too is it's just we start taking off some wins first thing in the morning. So if you have some things that you like to do, you got your gym done. Hey, that's a win. I did my journal, I did my meditation, those types of things. You can start stacking some wins. You give yourself something to be elevated about first thing in your morning. It sets your day off on the right foot, okay? But there's no real right or wrong way to go about doing a morning routine either. And sometimes it's going to have to shift. Sometimes it's different. You might have more time depending on the day, depending on what's happening. Maybe you're out of town, your kids went out, you got a hockey tournament, something like that. Okay. But like for myself, first thing in the morning, I mean, I work very early, so I've had to shorten my morning routine. So I only have about an hour and 15 minutes in the morning. So I usually get up and I'll just take 10, 15 minutes and just kind of contemplate, reflect, think what's kind of going on inside of me, really. Grab myself a coffee. I sit down, I play with my journal, I get out what's going on inside of myself. Good, bad, or indifferent. There's no judgment in this process. Then I like to do some morning affirmations, some reminders, some daily reminders. I like repeaters and things that I've been kind of trying to switch my thought processes or thoughts that I'm working on focusing on. And then I like to do a small little gratitude list. Gratitude is a great thing to start the day with. It kind of keeps things in perspective. Take time to take stock of some of the little things that you're grateful for in your life. And then I have about 15, 20 minutes before I head out the door where I enjoy a cup of coffee, and I sit down and I listen to some music that kind of hits the vibes, makes me feel good before I head out the door to get after my day, okay? But you can do whatever you need to do, okay? We're all entirely different, guys. There's no right, wrong way to do things. I mean, sometimes I do on weekends when I don't have to work. I will have a gym in the morning. If I have more time, I have a meditation in the morning. And there's little things that you can add. But I think that when you get in the habit of doing this, it's really going to benefit you tremendously. I mean, I used to be the type of person who would roll out of bed, head out the door, angry, grumpy, not even awake. Guys at work knew just stay away from him till 10 o'clock because I wasn't even awake yet. I hadn't dealt with anything. I was was in a mood. The first few hours of the day were miserable and that type of thing. But when I started getting into the habit of getting myself up in the morning and really giving myself just some time, regardless of what you want to do with it, guys. Sometimes you might need an hour. Some people need two. I work very early, so now I only have an hour. Otherwise, I'd have to wake up at 3:30, which I'm not necessarily willing to commit to. But whatever works for you. I know people have kids, so they don't have as much time in the morning. But I think if you can allocate even 20 minutes to a half an hour just for yourself, to give yourself that time, and what's going on inside of myself? How can I get over this? What's the best thing to do? We can also get in the habit when you Give yourself time. You can kind of assess your day. You can go over what you're going to kind of be seeing, what might be the challenges, what are some of the things that might present themselves throughout today. And then we can mentally prepare ourselves for them, because if you're going into something blind, or maybe there's just something you have to do that you're kind of dreading, or that type of thing, you can kind of mentally rehearse. You can get yourself prepared for it, instead of just like getting into that, oh my God, I have to do this. Well, why not try to do it and make it as good as possible? Why not try to start the day the right way, instead of just already drowning yourself in the dumps? You got that meeting at 10 o'clock and you're just miserable until that meeting, and then that meeting sucks. Well, of course it did. You're viewing that through the lens of your internal state, which is not in a great place right now, okay? So set yourself up with a good morning routine, guys. Get in the habit of doing this every day. I promise you, it's going to offer you a ton of benefits in your life. It's one of the best things that I've added to my own life. I do this, like I said, every day. And I have ADHD. It's tough to stick to routines sometimes, but I know I work best when I stick to my routines. So sometimes I have to give myself that boot in the ass to actually get myself to do some of these things. But I know that the benefits are there. And I think when we start to see why we're doing things, and especially with the subconscious programs and how we have to kind of push ourselves through things sometimes in order to make actual changes and add things to our lives, because it's not necessarily going to be a familiar, comfortable thing to your brain right off the hop. But the more you push through it, the more you make it a part of your life. You want to make yourself the type of person who has a good morning routine. It's not, a goal isn't to just do this once or twice. It's to literally make it a part of who we are. And that's one of the pinnacle things with habits, guys, is we're trying to make them a part of the type of person we are. And every time we do those morning routines and things like that, we're casting votes for that type of person. And you can utilize the 3-3-3 method: 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. You do it for 3 days. By the third day, you're kind of starting to be like, oh, okay, I'm kind of getting the hang of this. By week 3, it's kind of starting to get really being like, oh, it's ingrained. And after 3 months, it's really just become a part of who you are. So work on adding this and making it a part of your lifestyle, with the understanding that you're setting yourself up for success today every single time you do it. Have a great day, guys.